Today, it is the battle of the cookies. I'm going to be putting two cookie places here at Disney Springs against each other, head to head, to find out who has the better cookie. So let's talk about the two cookie shops here at Disney Springs. First off, Gideon's. Gideon's has been around for a little while, and they are known for making absolutely outrageous cookies covered in whatever toppings they have, that chocolate chips or like crazy crumbles of, bits of other types of cookie. I'm not sure, but they are known for their crazy cookies. They're also known for their insane art style. They have this like gargoyle, almost medieval, but kind of creepy horror sort of style throughout their entire shop. Their boxes have it, their bags have it, and of course the store itself is insanely themed. It's really, really cool in there and feels a mix of like Harry Potter and like Goosebumps. The other competitor in our cookie competition is Summer House on the Lake. Now they are brand new and they have a completely different vibe than Gideon's. They are nice, fresh. I mean, it seems like posh to be inside of this restaurant, and they're right on the lake. They have a really, really great atmosphere, and they're really known as a restaurant, not just a bakery, where Gideon's is really just a bakery. But they have a cookie bar that you can access quite easily, and unlike Gideon's, it's very, very easy to get to because there's like there was no line when I went, which was a huge advantage. This cookie bar has tons and tons of flavors of cookies though, and if the line isn't as bad and brand new cookies and they taste good, why not head to Summer House on the Lake instead of Gideon's? That was kind of the inspiration for this video. Is it good enough to skip Gideon's? Here are our cookie contestants. On the left, we have the 3 cookies I ended up buying from Gideon's Bakehouse, and on the right, the 3 cookies that I ended up buying from the cookie bar at Summer House on the Lake. Now, these are very different cookies. I couldn't really get a good straight comparison other than peanut butter. They had peanut butter together and they both had a chocolate chip. So I decided that I'm gonna pit the chocolate chips to each other, direct head-to-head competition here. And the other ones we're just gonna enjoy, and I'll give you my opinions on them. Okay, I have the cookies. Let's dig in and try a few of these. We're gonna start off with the Gideon's Classic Chocolate Chip. Now, Gideon's is known for their gigantic, absolutely gigantic cookies. And these cookies are soft, chewy, and I mean, honestly, like, they're just decadent. Like, there's just so much cookie there. It's kind of insane. So that's the Gideon's chocolate chip. Before I take a bite out of that, just to show you, this is the Summer House on the Lake cookie. Same chocolate chip. Now they have a chocolate chip and then they have a sea salt and chocolate chip, and I went for the sea salt and chocolate chip. The reason I did that is because there is sea salt on Gideon's cookie, so I kind of wanted something that was going to be the most similar, because many of their flavors are not similar. So I was looking for one cookie that was similar enough, and then the other ones I just kind of decided to get something that I wanted to eat. So let's take a look at this one, kind of breaking this one in half. Still feels extremely soft, and wow, very thick cookie. Okay, so let's go back to the Gideon's cookie and take a bite. Obviously, the chocolate chips on the top are like overtaking this cookie. There are so many chocolate chips. Man, it has been a moment since I have had that cookie. So the first thing is so chocolatey. I mean, all those chocolate chips on top. It's a very soft, and maybe it's because I've been sitting out here for just a moment, but all the chocolate chips on top are really, really soft. And their cookie has a very, very like squishy, chewy texture to it. I've described it in the past as almost feeling like it's not fully baked. Like, it almost feels like it's still a little underbaked, although it's not doughy, but it is so soft. Okay, now time to jump in. This is the first time I will ever have the Summer House on the Lake chocolate chip and sea salt cookie, so let's try it out. The difference in the chocolate chip ratio is pretty insane. With this cookie, I am tasting the actual cookie part of it. And with this cookie, I am tasting more of the chocolate, and then it's a very different like texture in your mouth, because this is more actual cookie and this is like so much more chocolate. The flavor is here though. I think though, out of these two, I gotta say that this one just feels so much more rich and like worth the money than this one. Just sitting here though, I keep going back to this one, and I haven't picked back up the Gideon's one. Cookie. No, I have to say, while I think the Gideon's cookie is definitely a more decadent cookie, and obviously it's probably more impressive just to look at the outside of it, it was a lot bigger of a process to pick this cookie up. I showed up early, just after they opened, around an hour after they opened. There was a massive line that I had to wait in. The line stretched all the way over to Morimoto. Cast member there let me know that if Morimoto is open, that's when they kind of switch to a virtual queue, because they can't have the line stretch in front of the front doors of Morimoto if they're open. But early enough in the morning, they're still closed, so the line can go straight past them. So it's just standby. That line took me quite a while to get all the way through. I ended up timing all of it. We are next in line, and so far it has taken me 54 minutes from the time I stepped into the line. Okay, now that the chocolate chips are out of the way, let's try another cookie, and I think we're gonna go back to Gideon's here. I really want to try some of their limited edition flavors, and that's something interesting that Gideon's does, is that every month they roll out some type of limited edition offering. So you know that when you go, you have something new to try, and if you are there this one time, you probably want to pick it up because it'll be gone in a month. For February, this is the Strawberry Delight. This is dark chocolate. There's also some strawberry creams in there, and then the sugar on top is strawberry infused. I've never tasted this cookie before in my life, so I give it a bite. Oh my God, that is crazy. Look at the inside of that cookie. I will say, a tiny knock against Gideon's is that their cookies are incredibly messy. Even when like taking photos and footage, my fingers became so dirty just picking up the cookies. That cookie to me, like the dark chocolate, is really, really strong with like a hint of strawberry in there. And then I really like the sugar on top. It adds like a really cool texture with all the chocolate in there. And you know, the cookie part of it has a lot of strawberry in there too, but dark chocolate really kind of took over. Dark chocolate with like a hint of strawberry cookie, and then the sugar texture. Really good. Time to try another cookie. I love this video. Now I'm gonna try this sprinkle cookie. This one is from Summer House. And I honestly wanted something to kind of contrast all the chocolate over here. I love sprinkles. I love sugar cookies. I'm hoping that this is soft. I'm hoping that this is gonna have a really nice, like sugary, like there's like a specific feel to the actual cookie that I'm hoping exists. Let's try it. That's a good sugar cookie. It's a little bit more crumbly than I want. Oh, I do love those sprinkles though. There's like a feeling that kind of coats your teeth with these sprinkles. It is a bit waxy, but it's like pure childhood. I love that actually. It really is a super good cookie. I think its biggest knock though, and this is kind of true with most of the cookies at Summer House, is that they are not as unique as the Gideon's cookies. They're so much more standard, you know? You kind of see them, you can almost expect to see this cookie somewhere else in the world, where the Gideon's cookies are like one of a kind. I guess to really drive that point home about how weird the Gideon's cookies can be, and I just apologize for how dirty my fingers are gonna be here, but check this cookie out. It's called the Eternal Flame. This is a dark chocolate cherry cookie. These big chunks are actually cherries right there. And this is topped with, let me read it out loud so I don't get it wrong, ancho, cayenne, and cinnamon. So I'm guessing is this gonna have like some spice to it, like a kick? I can definitely see a cherry right here, so let's take a bite. That cherry, Oh my God, it is spicy. That is so good. It is spicy. There's like this weird hint of spice, but it is there. It is there. I wouldn't say like, this isn't like chips and salsa gonna like make my mouth hurt. I don't think eating this whole cookie, but whoa, that is crazy. And I love the cherry chunk that I got. That was so good. I will say that the ingredients on the Gideon's cookies seems so much more premium with like these huge cherry pieces, and then you can kind of see the salt in there, these giant salt like crystals. That's really, really cool. I feel like the just the actual ingredients being added to the cookie are a bit higher quality. And that would make sense based off of the price of the cookies. The Gideon's cookies are about $1 to $1.50 more per cookie. So the 3 cookies that I got at Gideon's were about $20 worth of cookies. Before tax, $19 exactly. And then over at Summer House on the Lake, my cookies came out to $15.35. So quite a difference there. Okay, it is time to try the last cookie. This is probably the one that I am the most excited about. They called this the Pinky, and look at that pink icing. I'm really hoping the icing game changes things here. So far, Gideon's has kind of been taking it away, but none of the Gideon's cookies have icing. So let's try this one out. So this icing has definitely warmed up a tad bit in the sun. Still very good. The icing layer is very, very thick. It really overpowers the rest of the cookie. Like I'm trying to like just taste only just the cookie. I don't want icing. Is this the same cookie that was the sprinkle cookie? It's really hard to tell. That was a much softer cookie than I feel like the sprinkle cookie was, which is kind of what I was looking for in the sprinkle cookie. It was a much softer sugar cookie. Maybe the icing like soaked into it a bit. Some of the moisture made it a bit softer. I really like that. Now, when I started this video, this was a versus video, okay? It was Gideon's versus Summer House. So we have to choose a winner. So let me go through some pros and cons that I found with both cookie shops. First off is their packaging, actually. I really was a little bit disappointed with the Summer House on the Lake's packaging. The cookies just came in these little bags, and if I was gonna give them away as gifts, or like someone was visiting and I kind of wanted to hand them off to a friend, or maybe I was visiting a friend and wanted to give them as a gift, the bags just aren't that cool. Where in contrast, Gideon's has this really cool box. Each of their cookies is still wrapped in paper, very similar to the bags, but the box really makes the presentation way, way, way cooler. Next is price, and as I mentioned, the Gideon's cookies were more expensive, but the trade-off with that is, I think, better ingredients and probably a better presentation overall. Like just a lot more of a decadent cookie and a lot more like almost gluttonous cookie than the Summer House cookie, but they are more expensive. Next, let's talk about actually picking these cookies up. With Summer House, I was able just to walk in, snag my cookies, and leave. And with Gideon's, I had to wait in a very, very long line. I've had to be on a virtual queue in the past, and you really don't know what you're gonna get with the crowds here, but probably guarantee that there's gonna be some type of crowd for Gideon's because it's a very, very popular place. So it's kind of a con on the Gideon side that you do have to wait so long in order to get your cookies, where Summer House, you can just walk in and pick them up. Finally, let's talk about taste. The cookies are obviously very, very different, and I have to say that I think I like the Gideon's cookies better. Maybe it's also that I've had a little bit more experience with the Gideon's cookies, and I know a few of their other cookies, like their cookies and cream cookie is probably my favorite cookie of like all time. I didn't even get it today. But the Summer House on the Lake cookies, while they are very good, and if I was really worried about time, I would step in and grab them, they're not something I'm daydreaming about every day, where the Gideon's cookies are. So I think for flavor, Gideon's takes it. And finally, I just want to talk a little bit about atmosphere. Gideon's does such an insane job with their store, but so does Summer House. Honestly, Summer House on the Lake is one of the most beautiful restaurant things that I've seen around. They have really cool seating kind of everywhere. And so I think this is actually a tie, both of them. They have very different vibes, but I like them both. And so I don't see it as a pro or a con on either place. So that leads me to my final conclusion. What are my final thoughts? Who do I think is the best cookie at Disney Springs? I've got to give it to the tried and true Gideon's. I gotta say, even with the more expensive cookie, the longer wait, and it might be a downside that the cookie is super duper rich. I mean, it was just like there's a lot of chocolate. I still think that if I was going to recommend only one place to get cookies, I would say put in the time, put in the wait, put in the extra cost, and go to Gideon's over Summer House. Good news is that Summer House really isn't that long of a wait, so you could try both as long as you go through the line at Gideon's. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please give this video a like, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in a future video. Until then, bye.